Welcome to today's episode. You're joining me on a test project from LaunchPod Studios, where AI James, that's our founder's AI avatar, will discuss all the podcast topics of the minute, written and performed by the AI trained on him. There will certainly be some errors. Please remember, this is the view of ChatGPT and James's AI avatar, not him nor that of LaunchPod Studios. Today, we'll be exploring the fascinating journey of one of the most influential podcasts of our time, the Joe Rogan Experience. Over the next few minutes, we'll delve into how Joe Rogan transformed his podcast from a casual experiment into a global phenomenon that has reshaped the landscape of modern media. To understand the rise of the Joe Rogan Experience, we need to start with the man himself. Joe Rogan was born on August 11th, 1967, in Newark, New Jersey. His early life was marked by a passion for martial arts, which instilled in him discipline and a unique perspective on life. In the late 1980s, Rogan moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. His sharp wit and fearless approach quickly earned him a reputation in the comedy circuit. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Rogan expanded his career into acting and television hosting, notably as the host of the reality show Fear Factor. Simultaneously, his involvement with the Ultimate Fighting Championship as a commentator showcased his deep knowledge and enthusiasm for mixed martial arts. These diverse experiences set the stage for what would become his most significant venture. In December 2009, Rogan embarked on a new project, a podcast that began as informal live streams co-hosted with his friend Brian Redban. The early episodes were unscripted and candid, featuring wide-ranging conversations on topics like comedy, science, philosophy, and conspiracy theories. This raw and unfiltered approach resonated with listeners seeking authentic dialogue, setting his podcast apart from traditional media offerings. As the podcast gained traction, Rogan began inviting a diverse array of guests, including scientists, authors, actors, musicians, and athletes. His open-mindedness and genuine curiosity allowed for deep, meaningful conversations that often lasted for hours. This long-form format provided space for guests to explore complex ideas without the constraints of typical interview segments. One of the pivotal moments in the podcast's history was the appearance of high-profile guests like Elon Musk, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bernie Sanders. These episodes attracted millions of viewers and listeners, propelling the podcast into mainstream awareness. The episode with Elon Musk in particular became a cultural event when Musk openly discussed his companies and vision for the future, even sparking controversy with his on-air actions. The success of the Joe Rogan Experience can be attributed to several key factors. First, Rogan's authenticity and willingness to engage with a broad spectrum of ideas created a platform where unconventional or underrepresented perspectives could be heard. Second, the intimate and conversational tone of the podcast fostered a sense of community among listeners who felt they were part of the dialogue. Third, the accessibility of the podcast through platforms like YouTube and various podcasting apps allowed it to reach a global audience with ease. In 2020, the podcast reached a significant milestone when Rogan signed an exclusive licensing deal with Spotify, reportedly worth over $100 million. This move not only underscored the immense value of his content, but also signaled a shift in the podcasting industry towards platform exclusivity. While the deal brought about discussions on censorship and content control, it undeniably elevated the profile of podcasting as a major medium in the entertainment landscape. The influence of the Joe Rogan Experience extends beyond entertainment. The podcast has had a tangible impact on public discourse, introducing listeners to new ideas, books, and experts they might not have encountered otherwise. It has also sparked conversations about the responsibilities of content creators, especially regarding the spread of misinformation. Rogan has faced criticism over certain episodes, leading to debates about free speech and the ethical considerations of hosting controversial figures. Despite these challenges, the podcast continues to thrive, maintaining its position as one of the most downloaded and discussed shows globally. Its success has inspired countless others to start their own podcasts, contributing to the diversification and democratization of media. In reflecting on the rise of the Joe Rogan Experience, it's clear that the podcast taps into a fundamental human desire for genuine connection and unfiltered conversation. In an era where sound bites and quick takes dominate, Rogan's willingness to delve deep into subjects offers a refreshing alternative. His approach underscores the potential of podcasts to not only entertain, but also educate and challenge listeners. As we look to the future, the impact of the Joe Rogan Experience serves as a testament to the evolving nature of media and communication. It highlights the power of new platforms to amplify voices and ideas, for better or worse, and prompts us to consider how we engage with the content we consume. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the Joe Rogan Experience's rise to prominence. It's a compelling story of how one individual's curiosity and openness can create a space that resonates with millions around the world. Until next time, stay curious and keep listening.